All right, now we get to finally move to the other side of the list. Talk about some of this shit. First Super Mario World versus Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Whack. This is wild. Super Mario World versus Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Super Mario World is another. Any of the old classic Mario games, they don't age, dude. So you can still go back and have a fun time playing Super Mario World. I still go back and that's one of my favorite games to play with people that have never played Mario World. Like just boot up Mario World with people. I've actually done it where like I know all the secrets in Mario World, so like I'll just go through, open up the Star World. Like you can literally beat that game in like 10 minutes if you just do all the secrets. If you know where all the secrets are. So I love to do that and just shock people and be like, what the heck? I didn't even realize you could you could just go right to the end. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty straightforward. But it's got a bunch of secrets. It's super fun. It's got a great aesthetic. Honestly, Mario World more than anything, I feel like defined Mario's aesthetic. It's kind of weird. It's got a weird aesthetic, I guess. But God, I love that game so much. I love the music. I love everything about it. It's just that's another one of those that I would consider Mario World to be my favorite Mario game. I think it is the best Mario game. It's just really good. I would have loved more Mario World games. I guess we got more Mario World games, but like there's nothing that's like Super Mario World, you know what I mean? It's nothing that's like just captures that same like wonder that Mario World has. And then they put it up against Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which I mean, I think a lot of people would still be like, oh, Melee's the best one. Why isn't Melee on this list? I think there's still a lot of people that probably think that and would say that. But Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is supposed to be the best. I personally would not. Just saying. But Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is supposed to be the... well, I want to say I'm not saying that is what I'm... I'm not making that argument. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is supposed to be the like ultimate Smash Bros. Game. They brought back every character for it. And I like it. I haven't played it as much as I expected that I would. I kind of expected people to want to play it with me more, but I can't really... It's weird because I guess the people I want to play with that just don't want to play it with me anymore. Like Smash Brothers used to be that like ultimate party experience where you just play Smash Brothers with people. But now it's so hard for me to find anybody that wants to play it with me. And it's not fun unless you get, like, multiple people to play it with you. Like, I have like, one friend who, like, every time I go to his place, we'll play Smash Brothers. That's, like, our number one thing is we drink and we play Smash Brothers. And he's actually pretty good at it, so he can kind of, you know, we kind of go back and forth on who wins, so that's good. Like, I used to play Smash Brothers with, like, when I was a kid, I would play it with my sister, and I would always win. And so she hated it, so she never wanted to play it. And anytime like she would want to play it, she'd be like, she would want us to be on a team, and I didn't want to do that because I don't want to just play against like CPUs. It's boring. So like you just have to have that group of people who are like equally good at Smash Brothers in order to have a good time with it. And I feel like maybe that's just hard for me to find, but saying that it's better than Mario World, you know, I'll run with it. I'll say that's all right. I'll say I'm okay with that, even though it irks me a little bit. There's something about that really irks me. There's something about that just doesn't sit right with me. But I'll let it slide this time. I'll let it go. 60% versus 40%. It's perfectly fair. Oh, God. The Last of Us versus Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Oh, my God. It beat it by 70. Oh, my God. Oh, no. Uh-oh. Guys, what are you doing? Uh-oh. I don't know. I don't know if I even want to talk about this one. That's rough. That's rough. I'm just going to move past this one. I don't want to talk about that one. Uh-oh. Oh, God. Oh, no. Okay. Halo 2 versus Mass Effect 2. Weird things to put up against each other. Halo 2, I guess, is considered by many to be the best Halo. I think some people like Halo 3 better, as far as I've heard. But I'm not a huge Halo guy. Mass Effect 2, again, like I said, it's made by the same people that did... Maybe not the same people. It's made by BioWare, who also did Knights of the Old Republic, which went up against... Didn't it beat out... No, it lost to Fallout New Vegas, right? No, what did it lose? Yeah, it lost to Fallout New Vegas. Which is fair. I don't know. Me personally, I would lean towards Mass Effect 2. I just think it's more my kind of thing. I feel like the Halo games, don't take this the wrong way, but I feel like the Halo games are kind of overrated. They're really not that great. Even as FPS games, they're kind of not that great. You know? They're just kind of like, yeah, it's fun. But I feel like a little bit overhyped due to its enormous popularity as being like the Xbox flagship title. You know, if I can just be real here for a second, that's kind of how I feel about Halo. The multiplayer is fun, though. I played a lot of multiplayer with people. It can be a fun time, although I feel like it was more fun when I was a kid than it is to play it now. I don't find it nearly as fun. I don't know. I don't think I would voted Halo 2 better than Mass Effect 2 personally, but I could see there being different camps here. People that don't care about Mass Effect 2 but care about Halo. Probably, I guess there's a lot more of those people than there are people that like Mass Effect and don't care about Halo. So, whatever. Halo 2 beat it out. I'm not going to make too much of a stink about it, I guess. I forgot to go over this. Last of Us versus Smash Bros. Ultimate. I was supposed to do that. I forgot to do it. Uh-oh, guys. Last of Us beat out Smash Bros. Ultimate. It's so weird. I don't know. I don't want to talk about that at all. I just don't want to talk about that. I just want to move on. All right. Grand Theft Auto 5 versus Uncharted 2 among Thieves. Uncharted 2 was very popular when it came out. It was like big like cinematic experience. Everybody's like, "Well, it's like basically like playing through a movie." Pretty cool. Grand Theft Auto 5, I don't know where it's enormous popular. I mean, it's still the modern Grand Theft Auto game, but it came out when I was in college. So it's been out for like 6 years. You know, it's been out for a long time. And although I liked it, I liked the world, I liked kind of there's so much to do in it. It's kind of cool like if you spend a lot of time like exploring through it. Like I remember you could go in a submarine and like go into the ocean. You could see like whales and shit. Like it's like really cool if you spend a lot of time in that world. It's like a pretty interesting thing. Now I think its newfound popularity is in like role play servers and stuff. It's online mode, which is on PC, and it's definitely got a new life on Twitch now. Kind of became a big thing for a while. It beat out Uncharted 2, I guess, just in terms of current modern relevance. I just don't know that I would consider Grand Theft Auto 5 to be, I don't know. It beat out Uncharted 2, fine. Whatever, I don't care. It beat out Halo 2, fine. I don't care. That's fine. Next, move on to Street Fighter 2 versus Pokemon Yellow. Why Pokemon Yellow? Why Yellow? Why is Yellow the Pokemon game that showed up on this? This is the only Pokemon game on here, right? Pokemon Yellow is far from even being the best Pokemon game. Oh, man. I would have given this to if we're to pick like best Pokemon games, I guess Yellow, like Gen 1 is the one that maybe the least people will be upset about, but I don't know. Like Gen 2, I think Gen 2 is like objectively better than Gen 1, is it not? Honestly, I feel like it kind of dropped off for me, around Gen 4 or Gen 5. I kind of dropped off at Gen 4, but people said Gen 5 was really good, so I would say keep Gen 5. I think Gen 5 was great, and then after that is kind of where it goes downhill. So let's talk about the first 5 gens. I still think like Gen 4 was almost like, to me, the ultimate Pokemon game experience. It was like, this is the best one. This is the most full-fledged, evolved one that exists. I would either give it to Gen 3 or Gen 4, admittedly. So that's Diamond and Pearl or Ruby and Sapphire. Not Pokemon Yellow. Pokemon Yellow isn't even... I don't even think it's as good as, like, Red or Blue. Like, it adds the weird Pikachu mechanic. A Pikachu follows you around. You can't even switch him out. Like, you're stuck with a fucking... you're stuck with a Pikachu on your team, and you can't evolve him. And he's awful. Like, it's bad. Pokemon Yellow is not good. I don't like Pokemon Yellow. Although it does allow you to kind of catch whatever. There are still some Pokemon it doesn't have in it, which is the big mechanic of the different versions of Pokemon, is basically that they switch out which Pokemons you can catch to kind of encourage you to trade with people or find people that are playing the other version and be like, oh, I have this one. You can trade me with this one. And that's just kind of become the thing that Pokemon always does. That's why there's always 2 versions. But Pokemon Yellow was like the 3rd version. It was supposed to be more... it was supposed to like kind of promote the anime or like celebrate the anime a little bit to get people to buy Pokemon a 3rd time. But kind of whack to pick that as one of the best. I definitely wouldn't do that. I think like Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, or Diamond, Pearl, Platinum is what I would put there personally. I think I would do Gen 4, honestly. Though I don't know. It's hard to beat the vibes of like Gen 3. Gen 3 has such great vibes, but so does Gen 4. They have great vibes, but they, different vibes. It's hard. But I wouldn't put Pokemon... And Pokemon Yellow beat out Street Fighter 2 here, which is an absolute travesty. Like, this is disgusting. Who voted this? Pokemon Yellow doesn't even deserve to be on this list. And you had it beat Street Fighter 2? Are you guys out of your minds? At least it was close. But, like, stupid. Bad. That was bad. That's bad. Moving on. Super Mario 64 versus Batman Arkham City. This one's hilarious. This one makes me laugh. I love this one. This is a question we've all been asking ourselves for years. For years, philosophers have been trying to determine which is better, Mario 64 or Batman Arkham City. They're both such juggernauts in their genres. But which was better? Well, it turns out that it was Arkham City. Arkham City was way better than Mario 64. Honestly, I understand this. Because Arkham City is definitely a great game. It's phenomenal. I think it's probably the best Batman Arkham game. Gives you a whole big city to be Batman around in, which is fun. Super Mario 64 is Super Mario 64. And this is kind of, we're going to go back to Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time, I feel like, holds up better than Mario 64 by far. Mario 64 is, like, I feel like it's got good mechanics, but it feels kind of janky if you're not, like, used to them. Like, I see, like, speedrunners are, like, really adept at playing this game, which makes it seem like it's so well put together. But at the same time, the mechanics really don't feel that great. And they have, to most people, I think. And they have definitely improved Mario's 3D platforming in later titles. But Mario 64 has a beautiful charm. It was a very important game when it came out, and is still a very important game, a very fun game. I remember my cousin... Super Mario 64 was how I learned about region locking, because my cousin from England, sent me Mario 64 for my birthday, and I couldn't fit it in the console, and I was like, why? I really wanted to play it, and I couldn't because none of us knew that apparently if you try to buy an N64 cartridge in England, it won't work on an American console. And I was devastated. I couldn't play it. I played it at my friend's house, and I was like, this is the best game ever. And then I played it. I played it later. I eventually played it all the way through, but I did play at my friend's house at the time. It's a beautiful game. You know, it's definitely not my favorite Mario game, and I think it has aged poorly. So I can kind of understand the Arkham City decision here. It's just really funny. It's just really funny to put these two games up against each other. It just makes me laugh. Anyways, moving on. We got Pokemon Yellow versus Batman Arkham City. This one's fair. Pokemon Yellow shouldn't even be on this list. It's kind of stupid that it's on here. But Batman Arkham City beats it out. That's fine. It means that Batman Arkham City made it this far. Oh, spoilers. Anyways, Dark Souls versus Shadow of the Colossus. Oh gosh, I've talked a lot about how I don't really like Dark Souls all that much. Although, you know, someday I'm going to finish it. I played a decent chunk of I don't even think is Dark Souls 1 even considered to be the best one. I think people prefer Dark Souls 3 as like the best one. But then there's people that like talk about Bloodborne a lot. Like Bloodborne's the best one. And then what about Demon Souls? Do people like Demon Souls all that much? Dark Souls 1, I don't know. I think it's got a lot of bull crap. I'm trying not to curse in this video. I feel like I do it too much, so I'm trying not to curse. It's got a lot of bull crap in it. I remember the minute I stopped playing Dark Souls, I got to this I think it was like a city area. It was like an underground village. Yeah, that's about when I stopped playing, but it was after. So before that, there was this section where I kept falling down these holes, and I fell down these holes 3 times, and I tried to roll over it, and I messed up again and fell down this stupid hole, and I had fought my way out of the hole twice already, and it was fine, and then the third time, there were these fly creatures down there. The third time they poisoned me. And the poison status in this game, what it does is it permanently halves your health so that you have to, even if you die, you have permanently halved health. You have to fight your way all through this ghost section, which I had a lot of trouble with actually because there's only certain weapons you could use to damage the ghost. And I had found a knife that I could use to damage the ghost, but I didn't have much else of anything. I managed to meticulously fight my way through this section, which I had been avoiding the whole game. Make it to the end to get cured of this poison status. And then the next thing that happened was I went to, I was saving up these souls because I wanted to buy this cool armor that I saw. And I went to this underground city area where there's a bunch of dogs and stuff. And what happened was you can't pause in Dark Souls. So there's this point where I was going through this area, and I had I got a phone call, and I answered the phone. I was like, oh, well, I can't pause, but I think I've killed everything. I was pretty sure I'd been killing all the dogs, and I was like, I don't hear anything. I don't see anything. I think I'm good. So I go to take my phone call. I come back. My characters died, and I was just I was just mad. I was I don't want to play this anymore. This game is stressing me out. It's frustrating me. And I'm I have to go back and get these souls if I want to get this armor. I just get, it was frustrating. So I'm not the biggest Dark Souls guy. I know a lot of people love that. It's love to torture themselves, in that way. People say it's this nice feeling you get when you beat the boss and you're it's this powerful release that I feel. I'm yes, I finally did it. I'm I don't get that because I just I'm okay, now I got to go do the next boss. I don't get that that dopamine rush after I beat a boss. I just I'm all right, what's the next bullshit you're gonna throw at me? I'm gonna move on to the next thing. I don't know. I'm just very pessimistic, I guess. But against Shadow of the Colossus, I get it. Shadow of the Colossus is a masterpiece. but I can see why people would put Dark Souls above it, rate Dark Souls higher. But it's a great game. That's understandable to me. I guess I'll let it slide this time. But next time, you better think twice about your decisions. Half-Life 2 versus Rise of the Tomb Raider. My friend brought this one up, and I thought it was funny because I actually kind of agree with this. Like, it's actually really close. But Half-Life 2, personally, I feel like Half-Life 2 is kind of overrated for what it is. To me, it feels like it feels like a tech demo, just a really long tech demo. I much prefer Half-Life 1, Opposing Force, that whole trilogy. I think they're way better games, way more fun. And Half-Life 2 is just like, we built cool physics engine. Look at how much physics you could do. Like, that's all the game is. And, like, they give you, like, this gravity gun so you can, like, do more physics things. And it's, like, cool. And, I mean, at the time it was really cool. But, like, it's not nearly as cool anymore. I don't know. I just wasn't that impressed with it. It's kind of a lame game. Like, and there's way too many vehicle sections where you're just, like, driving around. And it's, like, I don't know. They're, like, I don't know. I just don't think it's aged super well. I think they were trying to show off a lot of things rather than make a really great experience. I mean, the only part of it that I think was super memorable was, like, the what is that called? Where you can you're fighting against the zombies and there's, like, a priest, and you can, like, pick up, like, saws with the gravity gun. I think this actually might have been around the first time you get the gravity gun. And so you can start, like, shooting saws at people. And that was a really cool section. But then, like, I mean, you ask me to remember any other part of the game, and it's all like, oh, I remember driving around in, like, a boat. I just remember driving everywhere. That's the only other thing I remember. I'm like, I've spent so much time just driving in this game. There's a part where you have to, like, fight a helicopter. There's a part where you're, like, on a bridge. And that's it. That's all I remember. Like, and then you fight your way to, like, the top of this tower. They didn't even have, like, the alien world in Half-Life 2. I think Half-Life 2 is people remember it being better than it was. I don't think it's that good. Rise of the Tomb Raider, on the other hand, those games are so great. The Tomb Raider games, modern Tomb Raider games, so much fun. And Rise of the Tomb Raider is just it's a beautiful game. It's the second one, and so it's just much more closer to the Tomb Raider classic. Maybe not the classic Tomb Raider experience, but it's exactly the type of game that I love. It's the type of game that I just, like, instantly fall into and just spend hours playing and just having a great time because you explore, you solve puzzles, you get new equipment that lets you go, oh, I want to explore what's over here, and then there's a whole section, like a whole tomb to explore in there, and you just go through and solve all these puzzles, and you find some cool treasure. It's great. I love those games so much. So I personally am okay with this decision, but others may not be. Dark Souls versus Rise of the Tomb Raider. Again, not really my cup of tea. I don't really think as highly of Dark Souls. I don't really know why people feel so highly about Dark Souls, honestly. As far as I can tell, it is that, like, dopamine rush thing, but I don't get that, so, you know, everybody else in the world does. I'm just a pessimist. I'm just a depressed guy. I don't feel happiness, only despair. The Rise of the Tomb Raider is much more fun. I think about that and I feel more positively about it. And I think about Dark Souls and I just have this groan in my soul, you know? That's how I feel. Anyways, that's what happened there. Dark Souls versus Batman. Oh, wow. Okay, actually, this one's interesting. Arkham City blowout over Dark Souls. That's fascinating. That's weird. That's wonky. I don't even know what to make of that. I wouldn't have expected that. That's weird that Arkham City has such, like, modern popularity. Because it was on the PS3. I guess so was Dark Souls. But, like, Dark Souls has been, like, remade, and I guess Arkham City's probably on PC now, so maybe a lot of people are playing Arkham City. But I don't know. That blows my mind. I didn't really think the Arkham games were like this popular, that it would like beat out Dark Souls. But I guess it is IGN readers specifically, so maybe to them, they're big Arkham guys. They're big Arkham fans. But then it seems weird to me because Arkham City is actually kind of a similar type of game to Rise of the Tomb Raider. And yet, Rise of the Tomb Raider lost to Dark Souls, and yet Arkham City won to Dark Souls. It's like they can't make up their minds about what they like. But Arkham City, all right. I find it weird. And I'm sure that's a lot of people are going to be upset by that one. But whatever. I like Arkham City a lot. I think I'm okay with this. Actually, I don't know. It feels weird to me that it's like this high. I wouldn't put Arkham City like this high on a top games of all time list. That's why it feels weird for this to be here. And this means it has beaten out like Rise of the Tomb Raider. It's beaten out Street Fighter 2, Super Mario 64, Shadow of the Colossus, Half-Life 2. Like, it's just all the things that it's like beating out here is weird to me. And feels very strange. Actually, no, I kind of did glide over how it beat out Mario 64 and Pokemon Yellow. But at the same time, I'm like, I can understand. You know? I don't know, I'm like contradicting myself now. But now when I put it all like together, I'm like, no, it beat out all of these things. I'm like, no, I don't agree with that. That's it. That's not right. There's something wrong here. Beat out all of these? All of them? Doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel right. Feels wrong. That's weird. And then it got pit up against Grand Theft Auto 5 and inevitably lost. Again, people love Arkham City, but they like Grand Theft Auto 5 much more. A little bit more. What is it? 55%. Oh, 62%. Oh, right. I'm spoiling it. Fine, whatever. I feel like this voting is weirdly inconsistent. For Batman Arkham City to lose here to Grand Theft Auto 5. Like, it beats Dark Souls, and they're like, well, actually, it's better than Dark Souls, but not as good as Grand Theft Auto 5. What are you guys doing? Do you guys, like, realize what you're doing? Dude, because this makes no sense. This makes no sense. This is wrong. Something wrong with you guys. What are you doing? Anyways, this one's upsetting. This one's upsetting to me, personally. Because Super Metroid is pretty much my favorite game of all time. Pretty much my number one. I don't care what people say. Super Metroid does not age. It is not one of those games that gets worse as time goes on. It's a perfect game. It's a phenomenally fun. It's just the best video game, okay? It's just the best one. There's none that are better than it. You can go back and play Super Metroid now, and it's still just as like atmospheric and isolating and just beautiful and fun to explore as it was back in the 90s when I played it. This game means a lot to me. I absolutely love it. Metroid is one of my favorite franchises of all time. And it lost to Apex Legends. It lost to Apex Legends, guys. It lost to Apex Legends. I mean, Apex... there's maybe like a weird bias here because like I'm not that much of like a competitive online gamer. I'm not really that type of guy. I play a lot more single player stuff. I can play them sometimes, but I would never play them by myself. I would only play with friends. And I would play to have a good time, to just hang out with people. So I've never been like a competitive type. I can see that when I played Apex Legends, it was a really fun game. I had a lot of fun playing it. But I was never really good at it, But I didn't really try to be good at it, so it's understandable. But, if I had played it more, I might have probably got into it. But, like, I played it for maybe a few months and then stopped playing it. But it still, like, got a life. Even though I found it really good. I found, like, it was a really cool, like, combination between, like, hero-based, like, shooters and then marrying that with the Battle Royale experience. I think was a really good idea. And I think really well realized. Which is, different from how I would talk about, like, Valorant, whereas I felt like in Valorant, like, the abilities feel very tacked on, whereas in Apex Legends, the characters feel very unique. They feel like they're brimming with personality. Nothing feels tacked on. It feels like this is what they wanted to make, and they did a great job with it. I think it's great. I think it's a great game. I think it's a lot of fun. But you put it over Super Metroid, and that just hurts my soul. And I can't I can't take this. I can't live in this world. I can't live in a world like this where Apex Legends is better than Super Metroid. No. No. I can't deal with that, man. Can't take it. Animal Crossing New Horizons over Titanfall 2. Wow, that's weird. People, I guess the hype for Animal Crossing, like, I bet if you had asked people last year, they would have put Animal Crossing over Titanfall 2 by far. But I guess it's like really fallen off in popularity. But I guess it kind of makes sense because, like, I don't know. I do kind of associate Animal Crossing with now being like a pandemic game. You know what I mean? It's like I don't even want to necessarily think about that time period. It's just kind of like that's back there. Let's forget about everything that happened there and just move on. But like you can't like you got to appreciate Animal Crossing for I mean they didn't plan this out that well. I don't think people would have cared as much about Animal Crossing if it hadn't come out like just in the middle of when everybody are like stuck in their houses and have literally nothing else to do. You know, but Animal Crossing New Horizons it's not even the best Animal Crossing game. Can we just be honest? Can we just be real for a second? It's not the best Animal Crossing game. I think that would probably go to New Leaf, would it not? New Leaf was far better. Had way more to do. Animal Crossing New Horizons, they're like very slowly putting in the features that were in New Leaf from the very start. Now, admittedly, New Horizons tried to center its game around being like kind of more of a sim type game where you can kind of customize your island and kind of share what you've made with other people. So it's like trying to be something else, and it added all that, and it added crafting, which I don't think the crafting was even all that well implemented, to be honest. And yeah, I feel like you lose interest with the game after a few months, especially if you can't get into like that creative portion of your mind that wants to like make a great island and like post about it on Twitter and Reddit and Instagram. If you're not like, you know, really like plugged into the internet at this point, you're like an Instagrammer. Like you're gonna lose interest in Animal Crossing like pretty quickly, I think. I know a lot of people, like my sister kind of felt that way. She started it really late, but kind of lost interest because she felt like she couldn't do things as well as she saw people online doing things. She's like, I'm not creative enough for that. So you just kind of lose interest. It's like it stops being fun. There's no fun to be had unless you enjoy that specific part of it. And although they're adding stuff so slowly that it's not worth it. Like I have no reason to like go back and play Animal Crossing again. I just don't feel like there's anything that they could put in now that would like make me want to go back to it. I'm just like I've played that. I'm done with it, you know. I don't know. But over Titanfall 2, this is a weird one because I don't really expect people to be as into Titanfall 2. I know it was like definitely considered way better than Titanfall 1. A lot of people loved it, but I feel like it's at least a little more niche, isn't it? Maybe I'm wrong. Actually, weirdly enough, it's made by the same people that made Apex Legends, I believe. So putting it up against Apex Legends is kind of interesting. And actually having it win here is just weird and doesn't make any sense to me, especially since they had Apex Legends beat Super Metroid, which is just wrong. Like, I can understand you doing Super Mario 64 and be like, hey, well, you know, it's dated. You know, Ocarina of Time, well, it's dated. Super Metroid is not dated. It does not age. Okay, so you can't make that argument. It's almost the same thing, like, I would say the same thing about Mario World, except they put it up against Smash Bros. Ultimate. Which, I don't know, actually, now that I'm looking back at this, I'm like, no, I do not like that. I do not like that. Something about that's wrong. It's just wrong. Whew. All right. Well, if I was making a top list, it's hard to do it this way, where it's like brackets and you vote one over the other, because then it's like, well, which one would I rather play right now? You know. Whereas if I'm making a list, like I would put Super Metroid at the top. I'd probably put Mario World somewhere up there. I'd put Majora's Mask up there. Silent Hill 2. I'd put Silent Hill 2 probably not even on here. It's not even on here. It's wrong. Should have put Silent Hill 2 on here. Silent Hill 2 or 3. I like 3 a lot as well. Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 is probably on here somewhere. But, you know, I'm a bit of an old man. Red Dead Redemption 1 I think I would put on there. Now that I think about it, now that it's in my head, I don't know if I would have before, but now that I'm thinking about it, I think I would, because I did think of that as like quite a perfect game when it came out. Anyways, Titanfall 2 beat out Apex Legends. This decision makes no sense to me. I can't even understand this decision. I don't know what people were thinking when they had Apex Legends beat Super Metroid and then lose to Titanfall 2. Like, Titanfall 2 isn't this popular. No way is it this popular. Is it a better game? I don't know. But I'm shocked it's more popular than Apex Legends. And here, at least this was close. At least, no, I still can't forgive him for that. That's messed up. It's just wrong. It's just wrong. It's just messed up. Half-Life Alyx versus Bloodborne. I haven't played Half-Life Alyx, and I feel like the majority of people also haven't, because you have to buy a new VR headset, which is a cool fad currently, but not everybody has one. I think the problem for me, like getting like a VR headset, is like, I think the only thing I would want to play is Half-Life Alyx, and then I would not touch the thing. Like, I got a brand new PS5, and it's like, I played Miles Morales, and then nothing else. I'm just going back and playing the PS4 games, because I have backlogs of stuff that I want to play. Like, I'm playing Nier right now, you know, so it's like, would I rather play some PS5 game, or would I rather play something that I've like wanted to play? Like, I want to play Nier, I want to play Neo. There's some other games I want to play, but there's nothing like on PS5 that's like beating that, you know what I mean? So Half-Life Alyx is kind of like in that zone of like, I would play that, and then I would not touch my VR headset. That's about it. Unless maybe to play with friends, maybe to play like Phasmophobia or something, because I heard that's a lot of fun. But I don't know. I feel like just a lot of people haven't played it at this point. I don't really know the quality of it. I haven't watched any videos on it or anything. I don't know if it's any good. I've heard people say it's really good, or I've heard my friend, I think, say it was good, but that's it. Bloodborne, but it was put up against Bloodborne, which everybody loves Bloodborne. Bloodborne's great. I think I'm actually more, for some reason, I'm like more sympathetic to Bloodborne, just because I think I prefer the aesthetic of Bloodborne and like the idea of Bloodborne. And I'm like, that sounds really cool. I think I would tolerate everything else about it than more the medieval setting. I don't know why. It's just the medieval setting is just like, it's brown and dull, and I just don't care about it. It's very gothic. Maybe that's why I don't like Dark Souls as much. I'm just not a like medieval setting type of guy. I feel weird to now be thinking that about myself, because I don't know if that's true. But I do like the aesthetic of Bloodborne a lot more. I feel more compelled to play Bloodborne. Which one here? So, okay. So that's cool. Tetris versus Rock Band. What a weird bracket. They wanted to get one of these out quick. Like, guys, you either like Tetris or you like Rock Band. You make your pick here. We can't have these on the rest of the bracket. We got to make this decision right now. What a stupid thing. Of course Tetris is going to win over Rock Band. Rock Band has been relevant since like 2007, dude. Nobody's played Rock Band. Rhythm based, at least the like Guitar Hero Rock Band type games nobody's been playing, like they haven't even made them since like then. I think they made like Guitar Hero World Tour. They had Rock Band 3. There was a Rock Band 3, I think. I didn't play Rock Band 3, but like the World Tour kind of ruined Guitar Hero in a way. I feel like, I don't know. I tried to play World Tour, and like I like to do the drums in Rock Band, and World Tour added like this really weird, like they tried to do it so different with the drums, and I didn't like it at all. I could not enjoy the World Tour drum set. I hated it. But I got so good at it in Rock Band. That was my favorite thing to do. It's a really fun game, but it's only fun if you can get people to play with you, and you got to buy all these like big peripherals. You got to be all these big, bulky controllers that take up a bunch of space. It's kind of an annoying thing, and people just got sick of it eventually. Just stopped buying them. Like, I don't need to get the new one. It's the same thing every time you get it. It's just like, I don't know. I still have the second one. That one's pretty good. It's got Float On it. That's the only song I need. It's got 9 in the afternoon. But yeah, Tetris. This is one of the weird ones, though, where it would like, if Tetris was put up against anything else, I'd be like, okay, yeah, people don't care about Tetris anymore. Even though it's Tetris. I mean, Tetris is never gonna die. Tetris is always gonna be a fun little thing to play. But like in terms of modern relevance, like Tetris just isn't modernly relevant, People, you don't have a lot of people out in the streets being like, "Bro, you played Tetris lately? It's gotten pretty good. Got pretty good last night." I don't know what I'm saying. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's a fun game, but like, it's Tetris. I love Tetris personally. I think it's a very addicting game. It's probably it's the best puzzle game. It's just such a fun little easy game. But yeah, Tetris over Rock Band, whatever. I don't know, personally, would I make this decision? Would I make this distinction? Would I say Tetris is better than Rock Band? I don't know. I guess I'm okay with it. Like, I feel like Tetris is more like worldly. It's like always going to be relevant, whereas Rock Band was kind of a fad back in the mid to late 2000s. So, understandable. Bloodborne beats out Tetris. Whatever. Whatever. Am I going to make a big stink? I don't care. I don't really care that much. It's Tetris. It's great. If I was making a list, I don't know that I would put Tetris super high on my list, but like it depends on what you're making the list about. Is it like best games or like most influential games of all time? I don't know. It depends on like what you're focusing in on, I suppose, when you're making that list. Yeah, whatever. Bloodborne beats Tetris. Bloodborne beats Titanfall 2. Again, that's fine. Again, but it's also like, it's weird that Titanfall 2 beat out all of this stuff. And then, well, I guess it's not. It's still. I don't think it's that weird that it loses to Bloodborne there, though. I think that's fine. Whatever. People like Bloodborne. I'm accepting of it. Hades versus Metroid Prime. I've heard a lot of people rave about Hades. I never played it. I've watched some people play it. I've heard it's really good. But it's up against Metroid Prime here, and I'm gonna pick Metroid Prime. I'm gonna say Metroid Prime is better. I just have to. I just have to do that. So that's the way that goes. So I'm okay with this, although it's very close. I didn't play Hades though. I would have to have played Hades, but is it gonna mean more to me than Metroid Prime? Probably not. Probably not. Super Mario Bros. 3 versus Persona 5 Royal. God, what a weird matchup. I'm actually surprised though. Mario 3 beat out Persona 5 Royal. I'm kind of surprised by that. I mean, Mario 3, I think Mario World is better than Mario 3, but it's like, those are the top two, right? Those are the top two of the, like, classic Mario games. I would say World is better than 3. Would I see, I like Persona 5 a lot, personally. But yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't know if I would want to make the assertion that it's better than Mario 3. Though at the same time, I would understand it being more modernly relevant if they voted it higher than Mario 3. So I guess I'm kind of bad at choosing sides here. But 70% to 30%. Kind of wild. Mario 3 is a very great game. It's got 8 worlds. You go through the world maps. You know, do I need to explain Mario 3? I don't know. Persona 5 Royal is one of my favorite RPGs of all time. It's just a phenomenally fun and beautiful game. Great soundtrack. Definitely deserves a lot of respect for what it is. I don't know. I'm surprised. I don't really know what they're voting on then, because I'm honestly dismissing a lot of these because I'm like, yeah, it's modern relevant. Yeah. People just play Apex Legends more than Super Metroid. You know, but I can't do that here because this like doesn't work with that idea, you know? So now that makes me like want to rethink everything and be like, all right, well, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back and be like, hey, well, actually, no, I distinctly told people they were wrong about Super Metroid versus Apex Legends. I don't think I forgave them for that. No, screw that. Honestly, I'm kind of fine with this. I'm kind of fine with that. I'm kind of okay with it, but Mario 3 versus Metroid Prime. Ugh. Yuck. I don't like comparing those at all. Ugh. No, I hate that. Overwhelmingly, people would pick Mario 3. Overwhelmingly. Interesting. I hate this comparison, honestly. I hate it a lot. But would I make it? If I had to make a top list, would I say Metro? I think I would put Metroid Prime 3. I don't know. That's really tough. Maybe I should try to make a list. See what happens. And I'll be able to think about this a little bit more. Because this is hard. This is a hard decision. But I guess I'm okay with it. Mario 3. I won't dwell on it too long. I guess I'm okay with it. Mario 3 is great. It's one of the most popular Mario games of all time. Like, it's phenomenally good. Castlevania Symphony of the Night versus Resident Evil 4. This is probably an upset, honestly. I think a lot of people would be upset by this. Resident Evil 4, by the way, I said I was going to put Resident Evil 4 on my... Didn't I say that? I was going to be like, that was on my top 10 list. I didn't actually mean that. I don't think that's actually true. Because my favorite Resident Evil game is actually the remake. I think is the best one. Resident Evil 4 was like the beginning of the franchise kind of hitting a wall and dying before being brought back in 7. But Resident Evil 4 was like a really cool and fun action game, and it had like great atmosphere at the time. Great art style as well, especially if you played like the GameCube version. It looked really nice because they gave it kind of an aesthetic instead of just making it look really graphically good, as it does kind of, I guess, in the PS2 versions and the Xbox. Did it come out on Xbox? I don't actually think it did. It was just PS2, but the PS2 release was much later. It was released on the GameCube as, if you have a GameCube version, it might have like the only for GameCube on the top corner, which is not true because they re-released it on the PS2. But at the time when it first came out, it was GameCube exclusive, and it was it's a really cool, fun game. I still think it's great by today's standards, and that just control scheme that they used in Resident Evil 4, that kind of over-the-shoulder thing, actually influenced a lot of other big games at the time, like Gears of War, Dead Space. It's a really winning control style. Some people complain about the inability to move while aiming. I don't. I'm fine with it. It's just something you learn to kind of work with. And I don't know, the other games, like we started talking about 5, started talking about 6, started talking about Revelations 1 and 2. The control style, for some reason, the controls don't feel nearly as good. They feel kind of wonky and bad. Well, Resident Evil 5, actually, they feel fine, I would say. And probably Revelations, they're fine, but I played it on the 3DS, where I had to use, I played it on my new Nintendo 3DS, where I had to use that little, nub control stick to, aim, and that was awful. And I hated that. So, that's why I kind of throw it into the same basket. But Resident Evil 4 is great. Is it better than Symphony of the Night? Sheesh. That's tough. I mean, Symphony of the Night is exactly like my type of game, where it is a Metroidvania. I mean, Castlevania Symphony of the Night is the Castlevania game that kind of made it so that the term became Metroidvania is because of Symphony of the Night. Without this game, Castlevania was not anything like Metroid. It was this game that made the term Metroidvania happen. Although, Metroid did it first. I don't know why Castlevania gets any credit, but it's because of Symphony of the Night. Which came out on the PS1. Whatever, I don't get it. Why did people do that? I don't know. Just call it Metroid-like. What do they call it? Metroidvania. Anyways, I don't know. Symphony of the Night over Resident Evil 4. That's a toughie. But I really like Resident Evil 4. And I would go back and play Resident Evil 4 even right now. And I think I would still like it. It's got a great sense of humor, a great storyline. So does Symphony of the Night. Symphony of the Night, maybe not the sense of humor part. But I feel like this should be closer than it is. And that's a little devastating that it's really not that close. Because there's a lot of things I could say that are bad about Resident Evil 4, whereas Symphony of the Night feels like a bit more of a polished, perfect experience. Whereas Resident Evil 4, I think one of the big issues is definitely the puzzles. Puzzles are terrible in Resident Evil 4. It's like purely an action game. But it's a really fun one. Honestly, I think I would go with Symphony of the Night over Resident Evil 4, but that's just me. And only when you're putting this comparison right in front of my face. Anyways, moving on. Breath of the Wild versus Final Fantasy VII. I'm in the camp of like I think Breath of the Wild is way overhyped for what it is. I don't think it's nearly as great as people give it credit for. It's not the first open world game. I don't even think it's an especially good open world game. I think the big thing that people give it a lot of credit for is like the physics engine and your kind of ability to like mess with the world and do interesting things within it. But other than that, I mean, there's kind of stuff to find. It's usually just shrines, but it doesn't. I don't know. Personally, in my mind, it's not that interesting a world. It's like you go around, most of it's empty. There's not a lot of people around. You go to the villages, there's people there, but like most of them are uninteresting. Why even talk to them? Like realistically, the only appeal of it is just in kind of the physics engine and some of the mysterious small little details that people bring up. Like that's kind of been a big thing lately is like people will talk about 20 things you didn't know about Breath of the Wild. And I'll like turn on some of those videos and I'll be like, "Oh, no, I didn't know that. That is cool. That is very cool." Yeah. I didn't have any idea that was in the game. But it's just like a small little thing that obviously you wouldn't even, like, the majority of people didn't even think to do. So why would they think you could do that? But like if you spend a lot of time like tinkering with it, I guess that's one of the big things about it. But in my opinion, I don't think it's that great. I think it's way overhyped for what it is. And especially the like control schemes for me that's played Zelda for many, 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 many years. The 3D Zeldas, and I was like very, like the 3D Zelda control scheme is ingrained in my fingers, dude. I know, and they took away some very distinct things that made me, frustrated me in playing this game. The ability to switch between targets. You have to like untarget something and then like retarget and hope it targets the right thing. But you can't like switch between targets if there's like a target in front of you and there's like an Octorok like in the back and you want to like deflect the bullet to hit the Octorok. Instead, you can't target the Octorok because your targeting will just lock onto this thing in front of you. And so like, it's really annoying to fight like multiple things at the same time. And you may as well not even use the lock-on system because it just kind of ruins the experience. And then there's also the thing where you can't like... Actually, I'm not sure. I have to double check this one. But I seem to be sure of it at the time. But is it true that you can't like lock the cam? I think you might have to press a second button maybe if it is possible. But like I remember like I would lock onto an enemy and then like the camera would just be fixed. So you would like move around and then you couldn't like center the camera behind you specifically so that you just have to hit left to do a side jump or back to do a back jump, a backflip, right? That sort of stuff, which it was so ingrained in me so that there were so many times where I was like I would like be turning left, and then I would like backflip away, or I'd be going left, or I'd be going up, and then I don't know. Like I would just try to do either a side jump or a backflip, and I would end up doing the other thing, and like that annoyed me. So like even the combat, I don't think is very good, but you can be like kind of creative with it, but it's just not as traditionally. It's kind of a step back for me. Other than that, I really don't get it. I really don't get why people are so hyped about it. Like why people think it's like the best thing ever all of a sudden. Yeah, I don't know. Still never really understood the hype, but people love it. People love it. People absolutely love it. And that's fine. But Final Fantasy VII it went up against, and it won. I mean, whatever. I don't know. I don't think Breath of the Wild is like a bad game. I don't know if I would rate it as high. I think I would put Final Fantasy VII above it, honestly. I think Final Fantasy VII is a better game. Personally, but that's just me, you know? I haven't heard a lot in terms of like what is great about Breath of the Wild, you know? People just say it's the best, and then I don't know what it is about it that's the best. You know? I have no idea. I haven't heard the arguments, you know, I guess. But whatever. I mean, I do hear it in some of the, like, I watch some videos about Breath of the Wild and people, like, talking about some of the hidden lore and all of this, like, cool stuff, like, within the game that you don't get to normally see. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is cool if you, like, think about all that stuff and you think about, you know, you watch, like, there's the Donkey video where he does all the funny physics stuff, which I don't think is a great representation of what Breath of the Wild is like, because it takes a long time to set that stuff up, and then it's a lot of luck whether or not it actually works. So I don't think, like, saying that the game is actually like this is fair, which I think is true of, like, most Donkey videos, is, like, he doesn't really represent the game exactly, just, like, tries to make a funny video more so. But Breath of the Wild beat out Resident Evil 4. I can't believe that. I don't like that. I would not have done that. Would I have done? I wouldn't have done that. No, I wouldn't have done that. Nope. I don't think I would have done that. Nope. No, sir. Breath of the Wild beats out Mario Brothers 3. I definitely wouldn't have done that. No way. No way. No, no. It made it pretty far, which is understandable. And it beat out Bloodborne. Wow. People love Breath of the Wild. But somehow it lost to Grand Theft Auto 5. That is so weird to me. At least, I mean, it was close. But I don't know. I don't understand people. Why is Grand Theft Auto 5 so highly considered? I mean, I would say it's probably a better open world game than Breath of the Wild, to be honest. I think I would agree with that, actually. But I'm weirded out by it, given how far Breath of the Wild got to lose to GTA 5. Just weird. Yeah, and I guess that brings us to the very end, which was, it doesn't even say, but God of War 1, the final, which was the big news that everybody was talking about. God of War 2018 beat out Grand Theft Auto 5 as the best game of all time, and that was kind of a big meme. Kind of a funny meme. Because of how silly that sounds. That God of War 2018 is like the best game of all time. I don't get it. Why is that the best game? How did it come up against Grand Theft Auto 5 as well? Like, these are the top two. These are the two best games ever made. And then they chose God of War. It's just so weird. What else is there to say? I don't know. It's just, it's mind-boggling. I don't know. All these things that it went up against. I don't like it when they do things in, like, this bracket way, because then it's, like, it depends on the voters, depends on, the time of the day you do the bracket, it depends on, it depends on how you're thinking about it in that moment, you know, is like, oh, I'm thinking about it, like, whereas if you're, like, making a list, you're, like, thinking about them all in the same context, you know, as opposed to, like, a bracket where if you're, like, comparing Fallout New Vegas to, like, League of Legends, what are you going to be thinking about? Like, more the single-player experience of this and maybe more the multiplayer experience of this, and you're going to be like, well, multiplayer-wise, you know, I have a bad time most of the time, like, because people are toxic and the community sucks. And you think about Fallout New Vegas, and you're thinking about it in an entirely different context as to why it's good. You know what I mean? So, like, it makes it weird and difficult to, like, really draw out the comparisons here. You know, Knights of the Old Republic is a bigger game with, like, more story elements and more characters. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 doesn't have a story. It's kind of arcadey. But it's a fun game, and I would argue that it's a more fun game than Knights of the Old Republic. Do you know what I mean? It's like the same thing. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is a more fun game than San Andreas. I'll just say it. It's more fun. You know what I mean? So it's like when you get to the roots of the problem, it's like I don't know. It's just weird to do it in this bracket way, because then you think in more like chunks and in more like windows, and you do the comparison. But then when you get to the middle, in the end of it, you realize all the decisions that have been made, and it doesn't make any sense, and it looks stupid. You know what I mean? I don't know, but some of the decisions were just stupid, like this one. That one's just stupid. Anyways, I guess that's it. I don't want to. It took me 2 hours to do this, so I don't know how I'm gonna slice this up, but I was hoping it would be a lot quicker than this. But no, it was not. So if you guys enjoyed this video, I'm planning on kind of doing more things like this. Maybe not exactly like this, kind of like this, but more like, I don't know, less like the same as what I've been doing, and more different content where I can just talk about stuff instead, because I think that's more fun, and I haven't gotten to do that in a while. So yeah, let me know what you thought of this. You feel free to subscribe, hit the bell. My friend told me I never said to hit the bell. I'm like, because I assume you would hit the bell if you wanted to hit the bell, but maybe I do have to say hit the bell so that people will hit the bell. If you don't know what the bell does, it makes it so that every time I make a video, or I upload a video, you get like a little notification in your little like you click the little bell icon, you get like a little notification that says this guy uploaded a new video, and you get to just be notified of it, in case you don't want to miss them. So that's what that does. You can subscribe. It's like it's like hitting that bell, but there's a chance that you might not be notified. I think you have to subscribe to hit the bell. I don't know why I'm rambling. Anyways, yeah, look forward to more stuff like this. I know I haven't done a lot of stuff like this on my channel. It's just what I'm trying to say. You know, I will do more stuff like this, so yeah. All right, bye.